Hello and welcome to TiddyTalk.
Hi,
Hi.
We are your hosts. I'm Sam,
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Mallory.
and today we have some more interesting things to talk about. Today on our podcast, we'll be talking about a doctor who claims that COVID vaccines magnetize the people who receive them. We'll be talking about DC removing a specific sex scene from the Batman TV show. And lastly, we'll finish off with a game of Smash or Pass. Stay tuned. So this article was posted on June 9th, and the title reads, Anti-vax doctor mocked for claiming that shots will magnetize people.
I want to be magnetized.
To some dick.
Oh.
I mean, like, if I walk by people, I could take all their valued possessions.
Yeah.
Magneto, I could just take it.
So this doctor who's making this claim, she comes out of Ohio, and it says Dr. Sherry Tepeny is facing widespread ridicule on social media after her testimony in the state legislature, where she pushed a wide range of baseless COVID-19 conspiracy theories while testifying as a so-called expert witness on vaccines. Her most obvious falsehood was the claim that the COVID-19 vaccine will make you magnetic, a claim that is not manifested in reality, despite some 2.2 billion doses being administered to date. She said, quoting, "I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people who had these shots and now they're magnetized," Tepeny said at the hearing. "They can put a key on their forehead, it sticks. They could put spoons and forks all over them and they can stick, because now we think that there's a metal piece to that. There is no metallic ingredients in any of the vaccines used in North America, according to all medical evidence. Claims of people being magnetized have also been debunked, as natural oils are also capable of making small objects stick to the skin." The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, specifically addressed the metal and magnetism conspiracy theory in a myth-busting article last week. "Receiving a COVID-19 vaccine will not make you magnetic," the CDC writes on its website. "COVID-19 vaccines do not contain ingredients that can produce an electromagnetic field at the site of your injection." It added that the typical dose is not large enough to contain a magnet, and that a magnet that fits in a needle would not be powerful enough to attract anything. Nevertheless, GOP lawmakers appeared to welcome the testimony from Tepeny, author of Saying No to Vaccines and a noted source of misinformation throughout the pandemic. So, she's anti-vax as well, and she's a doctor. Great.
Yeah, where the hell did she get her fucking medical degree? Like, I need to know so I can take it away.
What concerns me is that she's treating people with these beliefs. Ugh.
They're just making anybody a doctor. I could
Same
just...
with how they make anyone politicians.
This is true.
So, the Cleveland-based osteopath was at a hearing to back up a Republican bill that would ban businesses from requiring proof of vaccination, although her arguments for the bill were not rooted in any verifiable facts. In addition to the magnetism theory, she also tried to link vaccines to 5G, a new cell phone technology that has served as the baseless catalyst for many conspiracy theories in the recent years. She said, "There's been people who have long suspected that there's been some sort of an interface, yet to be defined interface, between what's being injected in these shots and all of the 5G towers," Tepeny said. Tepeny was also not alone in the hearing, as registered nurse Joanna Overholt attempted to demonstrate her own vaccine-given magnetic powers before the House. Overholt briefly stuck a key to her chest, then tried and failed to stick it to her neck. "Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck too," she said, while failing to stick the key to her neck. More than 41% of Ohio residents have been fully vaccinated, the Washington Post reports. No one in or outside of Ohio has demonstrated magnetic powers to date. Although many social media users say they would welcome such abilities. "The vaccine is turning us into Magneto," one hopeful Twitter user wrote, amid a tide of references to the X-Men villain. "As someone who got the vaccine and has yet to transform into Magneto, I'm outraged," IGN editor Dan Smoughlin tweeted on Tuesday. "So you're telling me I'm vaxxed and I get to be Magneto?" comedian Mark Age wrote. And George Hahn also tweeted. He said, "Personally, I'd love it if the vaccine turned me into Magneto." So, Republican Rep Brian Stewart was one of the few lawmakers who challenged Penny's claims in the House on Tuesday. Of the 5.5 million Ohioans who have gotten the COVID-19 vaccine shot, how many do you believe have been killed by it? "I don't know," she said. Tepeny stood by her misinformation-filled testimony in a follow-up statement to the Washington Post. "I do believe greatly that people should have a choice on what gets injected into their bodies, because once you have injected it, you can't uninject it," she said. And this is interesting. I didn't actually know this, and it makes me laugh. Ohio recently launched a lottery to give away 5 prizes of $1 million to people who get their vaccine. It's one of several unusual incentives being offered across the U.S. as officials continue to fight against vaccine hesitancy and misinformation around the pandemic. Tepeny has been one of the most influential voices in pushing that misinformation, according to the Center for Combating Digital Hate, which listed her as one of its disinformation dozen in a report earlier this year. Sadly, the internet is rife with misinformation, Bruce Vanderhoff, Ohio's chief medical officer, said at a news conference about vaccine hesitancy on Monday. As this false information spreads, it can cause many people to be unduly concerned about receiving COVID-19 vaccines.
She looks exactly what I imagined she would look like.
Yeah.
So this video is the doctor, and this is her claiming or making the claims that we read in the article about everything being linked to magnets and 5G.
And some of the information that I think had been discussed on your podcast related to EMF frequencies.
That was a thought.
And
it was because right now we're all kind of hypothesizing. I mean, what is it that's actually being transmitted that's causing all of these things? Is it a combination of the protein, which now we're finding has a metal attached to it? I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people who've had these shots and now they're magnetized. They can put a key on their forehead, it sticks. They can put spoons and forks all over them and they can stick. Because now we think that there's a metal piece to that. There's been people who've long suspected that there was some sort of an interface, yet to be defined, an interface between what's being injected in these shots and all of the 5G towers. Not proven yet, but we're trying to figure out what is it that's being transmitted to these unvaccinated people.
The 5G towers.
Did she say EMF?
Yeah.
Are we Wraithmare Demon? Like
Demon.
The lady in the back who was like nodding along with her when she was like, there's metal in the vaccine. I was like, girl, no. And so this is the nurse that was mentioned in the article who tried to back her up by trying to make something stick to her that was metal, and she failed quite epically.
She looks exactly like a nurse that believes in anti-vax.
Yes, vaccines do harm people. By the way, so I just found out something when I was on lunch, and I wanted to show it to you. We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals. So this is what I found out. So I have a key and a bobby pin here. Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck, too. I got this. Yeah, so if somebody can explain this, that would be great. Any questions?
Yes, several. First of all, how dare you?
The girl on the far left.
I'm sorry, this girl on the far back. What
I know. She was shooketh.
Because she the doctor's talking and she leans over like, I can't see shit.
Girl also think like sweat.
Well, that's what I thought when she first lays it on her in between on her chest there. I don't know about you ladies, but I can bounce stuff on my chest between my boobs.
I should try it right now because I just got my vaccine today. I'll put this fork on my chest, my flat chest.
I got a metal fork.
Dude, yeah, it'll stick there.
It just sits there.
Yeah.
It's because of the way women's chests are formed. There's a dip there, where the bones are. So naturally stuff sticks there. I mean, that has nothing to do with metal. And then when she tries to stick it to her neck, and it just
God, I actually saw somebody on my Facebook claim that he saw it firsthand, somebody sticking something to them and it something metal and it being magnetic, and I was like, okay. But I also saw a dude on TikTok do it, and then they're like, okay, try after just dousing your arm in baby powder. So we did, and then it didn't stick. He's like, I'm very sorry. I guess I was wrong. And then he just says he was wrong, but it was kind of funny.
But yeah, I don't know what to say about these conspiracy theorists anymore. It's just very concerning to me that they're in the medical field. That's what makes me the angriest.
They're fucking everywhere, unfortunately.
There was another video here that talks about the 5G conspiracy theory. I honestly don't really know what this conspiracy theory is about, other than people think that the 5G towers are causing COVID. But I don't know the legitimateness. I don't know what fuels this conspiracy theory.
I think the 5G tower conspiracy theory is rooted in the Chinese. According to this article, I'll just read a little line from it. French website, which loosely translates to the rabid sheep. There was a post on January 20th that floated that the millimeter wave spectrum used by the 5G technology in COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus, could be related, pointing to reports about Wuhan installing 5G towers before the outbreak.
Oh, so this just started because racism. I see.
Basically. Because, it was pretty much, back in 2019. Like, I remember people being like, 5G towers are so bad. Oh my God, we're gonna die. We're gonna get COVID. That's why the whole joke of 5G towers caused COVID went around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally because towers are made in China. So a lot of people are like, oh, things that come from China are gonna give us COVID, because for the longest time people believed that anything that came from China had some sort of COVID disease on it. I don't know why. People are stupid.
Racism.
Yeah. And like, I'm not gonna deny, of course it's that, but yeah, it's so stupid.
But this video here just explains more of the whole 5G theory.
There are a lot of possible explanations that are being thrown around as to how the 5G piece could be, meshed with the COVID-19 piece, like two puzzle pieces that don't really fit together, but you're trying to smush them together.
One of the first to suggest the link was this Belgian doctor back in January in an interview with a local newspaper. Within 24 hours, the paper removed the story. But the spark of the conspiracy had been lit. The weeks that followed saw the claim repeated over and over on social media.
Do you see the perfect storm here for health issues?
Some, like this Ontario apothecary owner, posted this YouTube video claiming 5G weakens the immune system, allowing COVID-19 to attack.
There's no reason at all to believe that the immune system could be negatively influenced by...
Eric Van Rogen's international nonprofit has been researching the health implications of electromagnetic radiation for 30 years.
We would have seen an increase in infections already a long time ago, because 3G and 4G systems basically work with the same type of electromagnetic fields.
Others, like this American doctor, claimed there is no virus at all, but rather that 5G is poisoning people's cells.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, there is a lot we still don't know about COVID-19. Microbiologists have put the virus under the microscope.
This is unequivocally a new virus as opposed to something related to 5G.
And some of the hardest hit countries, such as Italy, don't even have 5G infrastructure. But those fringe beliefs have now been pushed into the mainstream by celebrities such as actor Woody Harrelson and singer Carrie Hilson.
Not Woody Harrelson.
Right? Oh.
God damn.
I didn't even know that people were setting fucking 5G towers on fire. That's news to me.
Let's see what other celebrities own a 5G tower. There's celebrities pushing 5G conspiracy theories. Wiz Khalifa, Harry Hilson, whoever that is. Mia? Woody Harrelson, Amir Khan, John Cusack. John Cusack! Aw, man. I like him. Not much anymore, but I liked him at one point. Teddy Riley, who's a producer apparently. Amanda Holden. She's a judge on Britain's Got Talent. Don't know who she is and I don't care. Listen, I'm not saying celebrities are smart, but I've always known that they're not that smart.
Moving on to our second segment now. I think Mallory will really get a kick out of this one.
Oh, shit.
So, DC has been getting some heat lately because they removed a specific sex scene from the Batman TV show.
Oh my god.
The major comic book publishers, specifically Marvel and DC, are at least gesturing towards being a little less precious with their characters these days, with Marvel doing some weird experimental-ish stuff on Disney Plus and DC throwing a lot of money at vanity projects like Joker and Zack Snyder's Justice League, proving that we're a long ways from the days when comic book movies and TV shows had to apologize for their nerdy origins or goofy costumes. The Harley Quinn cartoon, now on HBO Max after originally premiering on DC Universe, is a prime example of this new approach to superheroes. It's violent, it has swearing, and it pulls from a nicely deep well of characters that rewards comic book knowledge rather than shaming you for it. There's one thing that Harley Quinn apparently cannot do, though, and that is show Batman going down on Catwoman.
Why not?
So I do want to just clarify a mistake before. I thought this was the Batman TV show. I read that wrong. Apologies. It is the Harley Quinn TV show on HBO Max. So speaking with Variety for an unrelated purpose, Harley Quinn co-creators Justin Halpern and Patrick Schumacher revealed that DC has given them a ton of leeway in terms of what they can do with Harley and her villainous friends, but they were told you absolutely cannot do that when they tried to include a scene in the show's third season that involved a Batman and Catwoman having sex. We had a moment where Batman was going to go down on Catwoman, and DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. They're like, heroes don't do that. So we said, are you saying heroes are just selfish lovers? They were like, no, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is also going down on someone.
Hello, did anybody play with Bratz dolls constantly going down at each other? Look, that's just gonna happen, man. Whether you like it or not.
I mean, I'll admit, when I was like a 5-year-old girl, I used to undress my Barbie dolls and be like, whoa, boobies.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this the most absurd objection that one of these comic book publishers has ever made to something? Probably not, but it's certainly up there. Basically, DC needs to sell Batman toys, and it believes that people won't buy a Batman toy if they know that he went down on someone, which actually might be really the most absurd objection DC has ever had to something. DC isn't selling specific Harley Quinn Batman toys, and the show isn't marketed to kids, so the issue is just that some misogynistic nerd would get mad about it? And is that misogynistic nerd so important to DC's bottom line that this is the one thing it would have a problem with? So Batman uses a gun to murder people in those Zack Snyder movies, but God forbid he actually do something nice for Selena Kyle, a woman who has put up with a lot of bullshit over the course of their decades-long on and off again relationship. Of course, this is all coming secondhand, so the reasoning might not literally have been, we need to sell Batman toys, but DC presumably did at least really object to it. Either way, the race is now on for some comic book company to get out there and explicitly confirm in a movie or TV show that one of its heroes does like to perform oral sex. It won't be Marvel, because people in the MCU barely hold hands, so this could be the trick for one of these other companies to finally beat Disney at something.
Interesting.
So in this second article that I found, it says, Twitter had a field day on Monday, June 15th, and the news of DC Comics reportedly asking the team of Harley Quinn to remove a specific scene from Season 3 of the animated series. HBO Max's, formerly DC Universe's Harley Quinn series stands out for in a way that it pushes the boundaries in terms of adult material, notably in the area of sexuality. During the creation of the adult animation series, impending the third season, Harley Quinn co-star and executive producer Justin Halpern said that DC eliminated a sex act starring Batman and Catwoman. So, the question asked in this article, why is Batman not allowed to go down on Catwoman? In an interview with Variety surrounding how new superhero shows like WandaVision and The Umbrella Academy subvert the genre's usual tropes, Harley Quinn's co-creator Justin Halpern said that while they have some leeway in terms of what they can portray on the adult animated series, DC Comics has forbidden at least one subject, the intimate details of Batman and Catwoman's sex lives. It's incredibly gratifying and free to be using the characters that are considered villains because you just have so much more leeway. He continues, a perfect example of that is in the third season of Harley when we had a moment where Batman was going down on Catwoman, and DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. And again, they uproared about it because we want to sell Batman toys, blah blah blah. So DC has been remarkably supportive of their series and has allowed them to push the envelope numerous times, according to Halpern and fellow co-creator and executive producer Patrick. People are making jokes that Robert Pattinson's Batman would.
Yeah, he would.
Batman, and by his admission, the entire plethora of DC superheroes canonically not going down and performing oral sex is the funniest shitcope comics has ever given us, said a Twitter user. Robert Pattinson's Batman would, quipped another. You cannot tell me Batman's mask wasn't made specifically for cunnilingus, a third said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad Batman's parents weren't alive to see this discussion. There's a bunch of tweets that people tweeted in relation to this.
Oh my god, where's the lie?
I never thought about it till I read this.
Neither did I, but it makes so much sense.
Someone also tweeted, Green Arrow eats out, why not Batman? DC are cowards. And someone replied to that with, what Batman won't do, Nightwing will. Another tweet says, Joker, and where's the Batman? Catwoman, I can tell you where he's not. And there's another tweet here where someone says, after today's news of Batman, this dialogue takes on a whole nother meaning.
But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
When Rachel first told me about this topic, I was very confused. I was like, excuse me?
Oh, this is a thing.
Give us what we want!
It was like I was saying to Rachel when she first told me about this too, is that like, I don't know why DC is trying to remove that stuff from their television series when it's very clearly in the comics already. I haven't read many DC comics, but of the ones that I have read, there is discussions of sexual manners or there is sexual acts being performed. Like, it's not some, like, hush-hush secret.
No.
And if your show isn't targeted towards a younger audience anyways, you would think
that you'd be able to...
I would only understand if they took it out because it doesn't help the story, but I don't know what the story is for that episode, so, like, it's hard to say.
I didn't see anything about the story in the episode either. All I know is that, like, Batman and Catwoman throughout the DC comics have an on-off relationship. That's literally all I know.
It's always been like that, hasn't it? I mean, I don't really watch that kind of stuff, but I feel like they've always had, like, some sort of Batman and Catwoman. Like, come on, we just know, you know? They have a thing going on, sort of.
I mean... Wasn't it in the one DC cartoon that is aimed at kids? Like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are very obviously girlfriends, but in this show that's like marketed towards kids, they openly say that they're girlfriends, that they love each other, and they're dating. And obviously, there's no sexual matter because it's aimed towards children. Most television companies, not all of them, obviously now because they're a lot more progressive and a lot more open about it, but most people would see even like two people, especially two women, pronouncing themselves as like girlfriends as like quote unquote taboo. Obviously, we've moved forward from that, but like it still happens now and again. It's also odd to me because what Rachel said is that so many TV shows are so like sex driven for like no reason at all. Even if it doesn't add to the story, it's still interesting how DC's like, nope, get it out of there.
We're not doing that. Don't even think about it.
Batman is really popular with young boys, so I suppose that makes sense. But
like from a business standpoint, I understand why, because you can't market something towards kids that has some, like, obviously some adult content within it, but that's why like you can make a child content into adult content and adult content into children content. You just have to separate the two. Like, it's not hard. It's just from a business standpoint, I can see why, because most parents are like, oh, I'm never letting my child look at Batman again. He's gonna look at him wrong in like the wrong way, and it's gonna be gross, and etc. etc. And then they'll lose out on a lot of sales. Meanwhile, yes, the adults will be happy, but our audience, they probably get a lot of money from people who buy their kids Batman stuff. Like, think about all those figures and like toys that they sell that are Batman themed. Think about all those toys that they sell for kids compared to adults. They probably get so much money from kids, and that's probably why, like, I'm not saying probably, that's definitely why they're not putting it in. But again, like I said, like, you can, like, if you don't want to put it in here, or if the general audience for the show, I don't know the general audience, if it's like rated older, put it in. Like,
they could have done too, even,
or they could have just implied it.
That too.
They didn't have to show it. You don't have to show it. They can't really show it anyway, because TV stuff, you can't really like show that. But
hey,
like,
Shameless is on TV.
Each channel has like a different thing that you're allowed to show on TV, which is why some channels will let you say fuck while some won't. It's really dependent.
That's where I get confused though, because HBO did Game of Thrones.
Time slots, like when a specific time slot's on TV, you have to buy those.
Oh yeah, that's true. Game of Thrones was like always late at night.
There are specific things that you can and can't show because of the like audience at that specific time. Like kids for TV are in bed from 8 p.m. depending on the channel to about 7 a.m. Even if it's like cunnilingus, you don't show it at like 1 p.m. You show it at 10 p.m. or like 1 a.m.
I was thinking though too, something else they could do is they could do what the creators of the Walking Dead show did, which was on their channel, AMC obviously, and one of the restrictions for AMC is no swearing. No hardcore swearing, like saying like fuck or... So what they did was they would have a clean version of the episode that they would show on the TV, and then when the DVD was released, I was really shook by it because I wasn't expecting it. There's a scene, the one character says they're screwing with the wrong people, but if you watch the DVD, he says they're fucking with the wrong people.
There are certain things you don't show. Like, that's why most things, like horror movies specifically, when they show boobs and stuff, they're rated R for a reason. Like, they're rated restricted for a reason.
I'm also just thinking now, I just literally just thought of it as you were talking. The article says that there's no Marvel character explicitly like performs oral sex or has sex or does anything sexual on screen.
Yeah, right.
Like, I know he's not technically a hero. He's technically an anti-hero, but they had like a whole 2-minute montage dedicated to Deadpool and his girlfriend having sex. And I know that there was parents that were taking their kids to see this R-rated movie because I remember them complaining on Twitter about how sexual and violent it was.
And everyone was like, R-rated!
Yeah, everyone's like, it's an R-rated movie.
That's why, again, like, that's why I say, like, that's restrictions. Like, that's why it's rated R, because they show so much. Like, they talk about like what, like nudity. There's the scene, I think it's the second movie, but still Deadpool, where like he's like gets his legs chopped off or whatever, and then they grow back and you can see everything. That's why his movies are rated R and you can show that stuff, but the show itself is rated mature, so they can't show that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's different. Because Deadpool, he was rated R, so I mean everybody with common sense expected it to be rated R and expected the nudity and stuff, and parents are just stupid.
Some parents are like, oh!
They think Marvel movie equals something my kid can watch, and that's that's not it.
Good
like at
enough
all.
for them,
Like you
yeah.
have to be, if you want to take your child to see something, you're responsible for that child and what they intake, because you're going to willingly take your child to go see that. Like, it's not my fault that you didn't read the restricted R rating on the movie, and literally it says 18 plus all over the posters, and it's not my fault that you didn't read
pretty
that.
suggestive. Like the trailers were super suggestive.
Even at the very beginning of the trailer, there was a big red screen with white writing that said restricted.
And that's why they have that, but people are stupid.
I was gonna say, earlier, Mallory, too, it's funny that you mentioned DJ Khaled, because a ton of people on Twitter are actually tagging DJ Khaled in this article.
No way.
And they're like, this you?
Yeah, literally, I hate that guy. But I mostly hate him because you just know he's bad in bed. Like, what are you doing?
I even said to Rach when she showed me this article, I was like, this makes me think of DJ Khaled. And then I read that comment and I was like, oh!
Did he even explain why he doesn't?
He
I was
did,
thinking,
but I
like, okay,
forget.
like, if they came with, like a respectable mutual agreement, then okay, that's their own thing. But, like, I don't remember if he did, or if he's just ignorant.
He did, and the way he said it it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because he literally just said, I don't perform oral sex because I don't want to. His wife, I think, was either asked about it or she came forward about it, and she said she didn't really care, so that's their thing, but I know a lot of people are kind of like, at DJ Khaled.
Yeah, I don't blame them, of course, but yeah, I'm just kind of like, ugh, I don't really care, because it's their life, and they can do whatever the hell they want, but I think it's stupid.
Okay, so this is, I was pretty sure he said something else that was also kind of demeaning.
Yeah.
And I was right. I googled it really quick. So he did say he just does prefer not to, but he also said that he doesn't do it because there's quote unquote different rules for men. And he said a woman should praise the man, the king.
I hate that.
Ugh.
I knew there's a reason why I didn't like him.
I was pretty sure he said something demeaning, and I was like, I need to Google this. I gotta make sure.
Whoop, there it is.
You know, I'm not even, like, again, like, I'm not even surprised. Like, agreeing on it is one thing, but just not doing it because you're like an asshole is another. Like, come on, dude. She needs somebody else in her life. She needs another king, an actual king.
We're going to finish off our podcast with another game of Smash or Pass. I have 15 people on our list today that we're going to go through, and the first one on the list is Mr. Will Smith.
I mean, young Will Smith, yeah, but current Will Smith, no. So I guess I'll say pass.
I would say Smash because, like, he was my very first crush when I was, like, 5 years old. So I would Smash just to make the kid inside me happy. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. You know what? He's a meme, so I think I would say Smash just because he's a meme.
Next, we have Ethan Klein.
Definite Smash.
I'm going to pass just because he is married.
Yeah,
and,
well,
I want to respect his wife.
I know, but what if she joins? Like, then.
Well, unfortunately for her, I'm not into that. So.
Well.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass just for her sake.
I'm gonna say Smash, and she can join.
I would also Smash because I think he's a funny guy, and I am also into, like, pudgier men, so I like the vibe he has going on. Next we have Miss Trisha Paytas.
Nope.
Oh, God.
Absolutely not.
Pass. I mean, just subscribe to her OnlyFans, honestly. Save that for Moses.
Honestly, from one gal to two others, I honestly think Trisha is a really pretty woman, but because of who she is as a person, pass. Next, we got Mr. John Krasinski.
John Krasinski!
Goodness.
Well, Smash! And I say Smash on behalf of everybody else. You're not allowed to pass. There's no pass.
Right.
No, hey!
No, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, there's no passing on John.
I would definitely, okay, if he, I would definitely give him a smooch if he let me smooch him.
Look at that.
Come on, you would Smash.
Yeah, I would. But like, if he was like,
it's Smash or Smash. Smash or be smashed. John Krasinski, let's go.
Listen, if he walked up to me and he's like, can I give you a kiss? I'd be like, yes, right now. Just do it right here.
Exactly.
He's so pretty, and his movie is pretty good.
I would also Smash because, oh my god, John Krasinski is so attractive, and for what? Plus, I had the biggest crush on Jim when I watched The Office.
Me too.
Next, we have Lil Nas X.
I have to pass just because he's gay.
I mean, me too, but he's cute.
Yes, he is definitely very pretty.
Yeah.
See, I said that, like, I fully respect that he is into men, but if he came out one day and said, I also am into women, I would smash.
Yeah, if he was into women, then yeah.
Next, we have Miss Lucy Liu.
Yup, smash.
I am going to say smash.
For somebody who's straight, I would definitely smash.
Nice. We love that energy.
I have to have a girl crush here and there, you know?
I mean, she's a good choice.
I always liked her, especially like watching the Kill Bill movies when I was a kid. I just like her character. She did so well.
Next, we have Mr. Zac Efron.
I would. He's like a teenage dream for me. Our generation's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my god, literally.
So,
I don't know.
Yup.
Yeah, like I think he's pretty now, but I really liked Zac Efron when he was in 17 again.
Yes. Oh my god.
Like that was like my peak Zac Efron.
Yeah, mine was also Hairspray. I really liked him in Hairspray.
Yeah, when he played Link in Hairspray, like he looked really good.
Like I think Zac Efron's talented, and he is pretty, but personally, he's just not really my type. And like even in like when like High School Musical was big and everything, I didn't have a crush on him. I was like a Corbin Bleu girl.
Okay, yeah, I liked Corbin Bleu and Zac Efron, so I was kind of like I can't pick between two, but I really liked Lucas Gabriel, who played Ryan.
Next, we have Joe Biden.
Oh, not Joe Biden. Why?
I just read the names that are suggested.
I know Rachel was the one who did this. Why? I saw the list. I didn't contribute anything. So it had to have been you. I'm definitely pass. He's too old. I mean, I like older guys, but he's too old.
I'm not into him, so I'm definitely gonna pass.
I would pass because I don't want to sleep with men who bomb foreign countries.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, fair. That's also.
I'm like, he's old. I don't care.
Next, we have Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I mean, like, points for being funny, but I believe in Ryan Gosling's supremacy, so I'm gonna say pass. He just doesn't do it for me. What a man. But I'm gonna say pass.
I would smash Ryan Reynolds because, I mean, he's really pretty and he's funny. And I have a massive crush on Deadpool as a character.
I would pass. It's kind of like I think he's really funny, but I can't get over the fact that he hangs out with people I dislike, so...
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Next, we have Miss Selena Gomez.
I am going to pass. Reason? One, I think she's a very pretty woman, but I don't like how she does things. Not everything, of course, but like there are some things like 13 Reasons Why that I can't back her up on.
Was that your 13th reason?
I think I would pass. I do think she's a beautiful woman, and she appears to be a genuinely kind person in like interviews and the way she interacts with people. She seems like someone who actually cares and isn't just another one of those airhead celebrities. But as Rachel said, like there's things that I can't get past the whole 13 Reasons Why thing, and being someone who struggles with mental health, I feel her mistakes in that regard on more of a personal level, so.
I would pass too. She's cute, but she's not really my type.
Next, we have Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl? Why?
You know what? I'd smash Dave Grohl.
Surprisingly, I'd say pass. I'm into dudes like this, but I just don't vibe with him.
Not going off appearances and more personality, I would definitely smash because he's a very nice and genuinely kind man.
Next, we have Shane Dawson.
I would pass away if I ever was forced to do anything with him.
I would definitely pass. 100% pass. I never liked him.
I would pass because I feel like he smells like really crusty underwear that you haven't washed for like a month after you've like shat in it and pissed in it. But yeah, I'm a pass just because he looks like he smells.
Fair.
I don't fuck with men who don't shower, you know? Next, we have Mr. Jay Baruchel.
I gotta pass. He's not my type.
I've always had a crush on him, especially when he played Hiccup. So I'm gonna.
Why didn't you tell me?
I
love
didn't know
him
anybody
too.
knew about Jay Baruchel.
I love him so much. I would smash.
Yeah, I had no idea people knew about him because he's like obviously he's in like a couple things, and he plays Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon.
I think his biggest roles were How to Train Your Dragon, and then I think $1 Million Baby. I literally went to his IMDb because I was trying to figure out what movie I saw him in that sparked my crush, and then I just remembered as I went to his IMDb. It was the IMDb. It was The Sorcerer's Apprentice, the movie he did with Nicolas Cage. It was a Disney movie. That was the first movie I saw him in, and that's where the crush began.
remember what I saw him in, but
I mean, he's Canadian. The only downside is that he likes the Montreal Canadiens, but I can let that slide. The last person on our list is Ariana Grande.
I'm gonna have to pass just because I don't like her. I'm sure people like her for various reasons. Her music's okay, and she just recently got married, so I must respect that as well, as somebody who is engaged.
Girl, fuck that.
Oh!
I would pass. She's talented. She definitely can sing. Like, holy shit, this girl can hit a high note. But there's just something about her that just makes her not my type, and I'm not sure what it is.
Thinking about it, I can say pass, but if she's in the room and she goes for me, I'm definitely gonna do it. So I'm gonna say smash. But I do, like, if she was in a room and she made a move on me, like, I'm not gonna say no. So I'm gonna have to say smash.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
And that concludes our episode 3 of our podcast.
Yay!
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 Thank you for listening and tuning in. We hope you join us next week.
And stay tuned for Instagram. We will be discussing and revealing topics that we will be talking about very soon.